Okay, here's another daily recap. So the price yesterday, the price was moving down and we got into a sell trade, and then the price moves across and then breaks lower. As soon as it broke the low, we put our stop loss 10 pips above the previous high, or the most recent high. Then the price comes down and makes this low here, and then the price moves up, and at this point here I decided to make a small change to the trading plan, which was if the previous low was broken, then set your stop loss 10 pips above the previous high. What that originally was if the price moves down and then makes an up candle, so that's our first up candle, and the first up candle it means that we can now see what the previous low was. So there's no up candles in all of this down move, so that's our first up candle. The second we had that, we know where the low was. As soon as we have the low, we know that the moving just left, the first high we come to moving left, also known as the previous high, was here. As soon as we know what the previous high is, we put our stop loss 10 pips above that. So around there. So that was basically the whole rule. And then the way we move our stop loss down is when this low is broken. So if the price moves up and wiggles around, can do anything it wants, I don't care what happens until this low is broken. And that's where it was broken, and that's where we put our stop loss. What I have found is there are times where the market moves a long way in your direction, pulls up, and then wiggles around, and then moves against you. And if it does move against you, there's no rule that tells us we can exit the trade until it's our stop loss, which means we give away all our profit. So I made a slight tweak to that, which was as soon as the previous low was broken, we can move our stop loss down. So in keeping that in mind, all we have to do is just keep an eye out of where the lows are. So the price comes down, makes an up candle, so that is our low. If that low is broken, we move the stop loss down. The price comes down, but doesn't break it, then the price comes up. We've got a new previous low, which is that one. If the price comes down and breaks that low, then we can move our stop loss down to the previous high. We move up, sideways, and then down. So we now know what the high is. If this price here, if it comes down and breaks this low, then we move our stop loss down to the previous high. Inside candle, down, and it's broken the previous low. So we can move our stop loss down to 10 pips above the previous high. Then we've got an inside candle and then an up candle. So now that is our new previous low. And then the price comes up and down. So now we've got a new previous high. Then the price comes down. It doesn't break the low. And now it does. It only breaks it by like 1 pip, but that's enough. So now 10 pips above previous high, which was that one. And actually, this blue candle is our most recent high. So it's 10 pips above that, which is about there somewhere. Then the price comes sideways, up, and there's our exit. So that is the candle we exited the trade on. And luckily we did, because it just keeps moving higher and higher and higher. So I think that was a good rule. And leaving a 10 pip buffer means moves like this one won't just get us out of the trade. If we apply the same rules to this part, price comes up, makes a tiny little down candle, but no lows are broken. but that's our new low, and that's our new high. Then the price comes down. Actually, this little candle here broke the low, so our stop loss would be 10 pips above the high, which is about there somewhere. Price comes up. That might have got us out of the trade there, which is fine. 10 pips is above that. 10 pips is there. So keeping the same rules, we wouldn't have got stopped out of this trade here. We would have carried on down, and then, as we just worked out, we exited the trade there. So let's just pretend that this little move did get us out of the trade. So moves down. That was a previous low broken. So yeah, that's our stop loss. We've actually got another couple of little moves here. So that's a previous low. Then that's broken by this one, which makes that the previous high. There's a few little bits here, but the result's the same. So at the moment, that is the previous low. And let's just say this candle did come out and get us out of the trade. It would have meant we had a small winning trade from about here to here. And then the entry for the next trade would have been 10 pips below this candle. 10 pips down is there. So that would have been the entry for the new trade. So it's having this very slight change to the system means we can lock in profits more frequently, but still get back into the trade if it does move in our direction. So we miss out on, we didn't in this case, but we would have missed out on this amount of profit. But if the price came against us, we don't throw away our profits. So it's a little more conservative. It's locking things in more quickly, but I think that's the safest move long term. And having that little 10 pip buffer means little moves like this don't actually get you out of the market. So it's a nice little balance. So yeah, in this case, the market came down, moved up, and then broke the previous low, which allowed us to exit this trade there, which means we had that much profit, which equaled, let me find my little thing, 108.8 pip profit, which is not bad. We'll see what today's trading brings. Actually, just see how the trading finished for the day. So the price comes up, down, and then up. Now, what we're looking for is we've got a 4-hour chart, which is right on the verge of turning into, actually that's not correct, down, up, doesn't break. Okay, so we're actually looking for a break of a previous low on the 4-hour before we start looking for a buy signal. Sorry, break of, let's just quickly walk through this to see what the market's actually done to find out where we need to start looking for a buy signal. So the price comes up, goes lower. All of these are inside candles, so there was no up there. Price comes down, then up, and then doesn't break any lows here. So what we're looking for is a break of price hitting this dotted line. If the price comes up and touches this dotted line, we're then looking for a buy signal. But until it does, we're looking for a sell signal. So what needs to happen? What's happened in the market so far that tells us where our low and high is that we need to be thinking about? So the price comes up here, then down and makes a low, then comes up and breaks the previous high, So that was our previous high. And that was our previous, where's my delete button? There we go. Previous high, that's our previous low. Comes up, breaks that, then comes down and makes another low, but it hasn't broken the previous high. So at the moment, the price, if the price drops down below this low by 10 pips, which is about there, somewhere around there, the price comes down and hits that, we'll be looking for a sell trade. Unless the price comes down, breaks the high, breaks this high, and then that will give us a new low to be looking for a sell trade. Yeah, that's it. So 4 hours got to move up a bit more before we start looking at buys, and the 1 hour chart is we're just looking for a sell on it. That's it.